Welcome to Everybody Studios. This is Everybody in Charlotte, a series of 15-minute conversations highlighting the people of Charlotte making a difference. All right, Casey Dolan, welcome to Everybody Studios.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi. It's funny, I typically start off explaining, I've only done a few of these so far, like 4 or 5, and I start off like explaining how I know my guests. I don't know you. I'm excited to get to know you.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from?
I was born in Fort Myers, Florida, raised in upstate New York, and I've traveled a little bit with the military and with life in general, and landed here about 2 years ago.
What brought you to Charlotte?
Well, COVID drove us out of New York in general, and politics and cost of living, and the school systems in Mooresville are awesome, and I've got 2 kids, so that's why we landed in Mooresville.
Did you just throw a dart on a map or something?
Followed,
How much research did you do?
We did 0. We relied on my sister-in-law to do that.
Oh,
so
cool.
We followed her here.
So she knows about this area, obviously.
Yes.
Very cool. Where in upstate?
Saratoga Springs.
Gotcha.
So horse racing and Adirondacks are 2 of my favorite things.
Awesome. I lived in Manhattan for a while, and used to go upstate some and up towards Vermont, and I've got some friends from Rochester. Not that that makes us very close, but
well, one of my best friends from Rochester. So
oh, yeah?
There we go.
Nice. There you go. All right. So first question. Okay. What comes to mind when I say the hardest you've ever laughed?
It's always something really stupid.
Of course.
My mom used to laugh at us when we fell and got hurt, and we used to get so mad, but now it's like we do the same thing with our kids.
Yeah.
So it was either one of my girlfriends getting hurt, watching a video of myself doing karaoke, or some ridiculously stupid video on social media. Like my husband sent me one yesterday of this guy in this shirt with an ape face on it, and he stuck his stomach in and out, and it looked like he was blowing on a fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the stupidest things that make me laugh.
Hey, I'm with you. And the funny thing about me doing these interviews is I ask these questions, and I can't help but to think like what my answer would be if I was asked this question. And of course, they're different every time. And every time my guest gives an answer, it makes me think of something like in that space. I'm a humorist at heart. Used to do comedy, like the whole thing. So I love silly, slapstick, potty humor, fall down, get hurt. I love it. I love all of it. America's Funniest Home Videos is my favorite show ever.
In my childhood home.
Yeah, and now my daughter and I sit up and watch fail videos. Like that's how we go to bed.
I went on the beach trip last summer with my girlfriends for my birthday, and we had those silly animal masks that we put on. And my girlfriend, we deem her our Greek goddess because she's this gorgeous woman from Greece, and she put on this panda mask. It was like a panda animal thing, and I don't know what it was about, like maybe her features or something, but we were dying. We just talked about it on Saturday. It was just like I could probably cry laughing thinking about it. It was so ridiculous.
Fun. It's so fun to laugh that hard.
40-year-old women and panda masks.
Yeah. I love it. Don't have to be smart to laugh.
No.
I love it. All right. So, what would you consider to be your superpower?
It's funny how we grow in our 30s. Because if you had asked me this question in my 30s, I would have said I don't have one. Or that, I don't know. But moving here has definitely highlighted that for me. I'm definitely a people connector. I started that I've always done that with my event planning company when I lived in New York to, I host mom meetups in Huntersville, and that's how I met my best friends. And even now with the Roaring Social, it's just connecting people in our community that have the same mindset. They don't want to drink, or they want to stop drinking, or they just physically can't drink anymore because of an autoimmune disease, and they might not know anybody because Charlotte and Lake Norman area is very much a melting pot. Very rarely do you get, especially where I live in Lake Norman, do you get someone that's from there.
Right.
They're unicorns. So we have one friend that's from here, and we're like, "You're a unicorn." Like, what do you mean you grew up here? Like, on purpose? Like, you just, like, I don't understand. So being able to connect people has been something I love doing a lot.
That's very cool. Because when you said that, my initial thought was you connect to people. But no, you're talking about you like to bring people together, and you're good
Yeah.
at that. That's very cool.
Don't connect to all people.
No,
No, I'm
well,
definitely an
that's kind of
acquired taste.
impossible. That's really cool. All right, well, then let's that's a good segue. So let's go into where in your life are you making a difference in the lives of others?
Well, I think just connecting people in general. Like I had Kentucky Derby at my house on Saturday, and I like to just sit there and watch everybody that I've connected just enjoy their friendships together. It's awesome. Like my friends and I spent 12 hours together last weekend,
Yeah.
for a friend's birthday, and sometimes they'll look at me and be like, "Are you all right?" Like I'm like, "Yeah, I'm actually like really loving sitting here watching everybody interact."
Yeah.
And it's
Is
awesome.
it because you put them together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
One
That's
way or
really cool.
another, and
It's almost like a matchmaker.
I am a friendship matchmaker.
Friendship matchmaker.
Yes. And it's fine because like some people that we hung out with, a year ago, we don't hang out with anymore, but they still hang out together.
Yeah.
You grow apart, and that's fine.
Sure.
That's just, you can't be friends with everybody.
We grow, yeah.
So it's fine, but they're, I still see them as friends, and I think that's awesome. It's hard to be an adult alone, especially as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
You need friends, especially because, like I said, no one's from here. My family's in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's families are everywhere. So, and then with the Rowing Social, it's really awesome to see, even the small businesses that I've connected together work together.
Oh, wow.
So like the Ivory Barn and
Tell us a little bit more about your businesses.
so I
Because
own
we're
a
gonna
bakery.
promote them.
So I own a bakery. I've been a baker for Casey's Homemade Goods for about 5 years now.
Casey's Homemade Goods. Is that
Actually, it might be 6 years now.
we're gonna put all this up, but is that Casey'sHomemadeGoods.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
And mostly custom, and then I do large orders for events and, Mother's Day, bulk ordering, holidays and stuff. And then, the Rowing Social opened late January, early February,
Okay.
and that's been
And what is that?
a whirlwind. We are opening up the area's first non-alcoholic dessert bar.
How about that? I just happen to not drink too.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. 17 years now.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's why I, obviously there's no secret here, but when I saw the Roaring Social and I saw that it was going to be a new alcohol-free or non-alcoholic bar, of course, that's why I reached out. So I want to know a lot about that. I'd love to know how it came to mind. And
Well, I saw that there was, the trend growing and similar businesses in the larger cities like
Yeah.
LA and New York City, and did some research and realized that wasn't really a thing here.
yeah,
It's not a thing. Like it's just
there's not one.
There is.
I've been talking about opening one for about 12 years now.
It's not a thing, and the trend is growing, especially with the younger generations. So, being a very competitive person, I wanted to jump on it as soon as possible because I knew somebody was going to do it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened literally in a weekend. I got samples. I went to, Total Wine. I got some, free spirits,
Mm-hmm.
bourbon, and I just jumped right into it. And it's been fantastic. So I used to work at the Dessert Lady in Orlando, and
Okay.
it was a 1920s vintage dessert wine bar.
Huh.
And I was always like, oh, this is awesome. Like, she just makes cakes and sells them, and people come in and they just sit and have dessert. And I was like, I really want to do this. And that was 16 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started thinking about, doing all this, I figured, why not combine the two businesses?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bake during the week in my bakery at my house, which is, a commercial space, and then bring the desserts in and do the best.
And serve non-alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, we'll have coffee.
Coffee.
too.
Will you serve beer, wine, and what is it? Spirit
Spirits?
favorite liquor? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, it'll be everything.
We have a bartender that does.
Yeah, yes. The funny part about
mocktail
this
type
is that
stuff.
I am not a bartender. I have served since I was 15 and been in the hospitality industry my whole life,
Yeah.
but I have never once been a bartender, so
Uh-huh.
this has been really fun. learning how to do all of it. I'm still really awkward with it,
Yeah.
you know.
So will you do the mixology and all
Yeah,
that kind
I
of
will,
stuff,
but
like
I'll
the
probably
recipes?
hire somebody to come in and actually master it for me.
Yeah.
More than I have already. I already have my staple drinks that people look for, and I love them. So I'll continue to have those probably throughout, the business
Yeah.
lifespan, and then, add seasonal and stuff. I'm already looking forward to apple stuff in the fall,
Yeah.
and peppermint in the winter. So
Huh? So there's not a brick and mortar yet, right?
not yet. What I wanted to do, and I'm a very impulsive person, hence the business starting in a weekend. I wanted to take the time and do pop-ups throughout Lake Norman and Charlotte, and I've even got stuff in Ballantyne, and get a feel for the area, get a feel for the response to everything I'm doing, my different drinks, what's working, where it's working, so that I can make the best educated decision as to where we're going to land.
Yep.
I want
Yep.
people to be able to come. Like, at first I was thinking South End, but then I remembered, about a year ago I went out for a girlfriend's birthday in South End, and it was a slop show. Like, everybody was drunk, and
Yeah.
if you're not drinking, you're not going to want to be there.
Great point.
So
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I love South End,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
during the day. I take
Yeah.
my family and we go to Flower Child, or we go for tacos, or, Jenny's ice cream. But nighttime life, it's not the place for Roaring Social. It needs to be somewhere where it's a safe zone, because I want people who have drinking problems to be able to come and not have 75
Walk
bars.
out the door and there be, yeah.
Yeah. Or have the smell of, spilled booze, or, I don't want any triggers. I want it to be
Yeah.
a completely safe zone for anybody that doesn't drink, no matter the reason.
Huh. That's a great point. So what kind of location does that lend itself to?
Probably South Huntersville, so exit 23.
Yep.
It's very close to Charlotte, but it's also close to It's in Lake Norman, and it's not too far of a drive for me in Mooresville.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the best choice. Plus, it offers a ton of parking. I don't want people to worry about parking when they come as well. I want it to be something they can pop in, and I want regulars. Like, one of my favorite things in the hospitality industry my whole life has been having the regulars,
Mm-hmm.
because I got to know them. I'm very much a people person. It's, this person, and how are the grandkids, or how are the kids, or where's the wife today? Or, I love that part. So,
You look sad.
what's wrong?
What's going on?
And then you just, poke them until they tell you, and then they feel better. And I'm like, I did
Right.
something today. No, I love that part.
Yeah.
I realized my favorite part of serving was having regulars and getting to know them.
Interesting. Very cool. All right. So where do you envision this going? Do you see multiple? I mean, or is that the hope?
I've been thinking about that. I've actually been reached out to by a couple of different, I don't want to say corporate executives, but individuals in the southeastern part of the country that have the money and the resources to have their own version of my business.
Mm-hmm.
They're, inviting me to come, give them information, get them started, and I don't really want to do that right now.
Gotcha.
I have pointed them in the right direction, but right now my focus is getting the Roaring Social up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in a couple of years, if I am sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing the
Yeah.
right way,
Yep.
by having a successful business, then at that point maybe. But for right now, we're just focusing on learning what the area needs, exactly what they love, what they don't love, and connecting people together so these events people can go to and see people that they know.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can come alone. I had a couple people not come to Goat Yoga and Mocktails because they didn't want to go alone. And I was like, you can come. Like, I've got friends. Like, we'll put you with a friend. Like, I'll be your friend. Like, I don't care. I want you to come.
Yeah.
And that, for me, is the focus right now. And then, obviously, getting the business open.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So tell our listeners what we can do to help and support and be a part of.
Outside of showing, like, if you can't show up physically, just social media is amazing. You just hit the share
Talk about
button.
it. Yeah.
Just hit the share button. I told everybody at, Goat Yoga and Mocktails, I said, comment on one of my posts, because all my stuff is public. So even if you just put a period, just a dot or
Yeah.
a hi, it will start an algorithm, and other people will see that, and it will help me out. So
That damn algorithm.
And inviting people to events, even if you can't go. They're like, I can't go, but you can go.
Yeah.
Or if you've purchased from me, I've had probably 6 to 10. I don't want to say regulars, but people that I've consistently seen at events, and they're really awesome. I've got a lot of business from them because they'll just take a picture of their drink or whatever and share it on social media and tag us, and it's awesome. My employee Amber, she's, outside of my husband, probably one of my biggest cheerleaders. She's always posting and tagging, and Michelle that owns Charlotte Figgy, she's the ultimate hype girl. Everybody needs one of her. So she's great. So just social media sharing and word of mouth.
Yep. Okay. And then one final question. Give us just as much info as you can as far as timing, where to find it. I mean, website, like just nail all the little details that we can put in the minds of every listener out there.
Timing isn't what?
When is this going to open?
Oh, okay. So our goal is to open by October.
By October.
By
Got
October. Sober October is a thing, but
it.
I understand, the reality might not be October, and I'm okay with it, but my cutoff for accepting it is January.
Okay. Got it.
So January is the last straw for me.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to be open for dry January, and people want to start the new year off with, a sober life or less drinking or whatever. But I want it to be open when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And it will come together as it's supposed to. I've got everything lined up. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do to open in October, but I'm also incredibly indecisive. So that might delay. The website's just theroaringsocial.com.
TheRoaringSocial.com. Okay.
And same thing with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, which I barely use, but there's a couple awkward videos of me doing random things on there.
Yeah.
So it's just at The Roaring Social.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So 2 more. Nominate someone for me to interview.
I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was Michelle. Because she owns, the Charlotte Figgy car, and she's just...
What's that?
I'm sure you've seen, it's a little blue car. It's like
Oh, it's a car.
It's a little blue car, and she rents it out for events and photo shoots and whatnot. But Michelle is just... she's just a spitfire, and
perfect.
I mean, she's awesome.
Let's do it. What's her last name?
Morgan.
Michelle Morgan. You've been called. Sounds good. All right. Give us, last but not least, give us 3 words to remember you by.
Oh boy. Competitive.
Nice.
That's a really hard one. That's the hardest question. I don't know.
Any words. Competitive.
I wish Lynn was here because she could help me out.
Entrepreneurial.
Sure.
Sure.
Works. Isn't that yeah.
Connector.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'll remember you. All right, cool. Casey Dolan, thank you for coming to Everybody Studios. Thank you for being a part of Everybody in Charlotte. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I am Casey Dolan, and I am everybody.
Thank you.